I'm very broad-minded when it comes to what is a houseplant. Well, for me, it's at least this time of the year, it's anything I can bring from the outdoors in or from the inside outdoors in a porch-like environment like this. Over here I have an agave. This is Agave Americana variegata, just the variegated agave. If you love tequila, you love this plant. Tequila is derived from this marvelous American plant, and I think it's very structural, even architectural, and it's very handsome, I think, in this corner. You ask about light, this is north facing, so the light here is even, and this plant has been here for 3 months. Now, because of these louvered shutters, I can increase or decrease the amount of light it gets. Light is very important, obviously, for houseplants, and you need to make sure that you've got the right plant in the right place. But they're a lot more forgiving than you might think. I think they do better with a bit of shade rather than full scorching sun. Let's take a look at a few other things over here. One of my favorites is a pencil cactus. You see why it's called the pencil cactus, because, well, the stems look like a pencil, don't they? I have a pair of these, and they sit next to these settees out here on the porch, and they're soft, so bumping into them isn't a problem, and they root so easily. So why don't we look over here at this end of the porch. I've got another pencil cactus here sort of flanking the walls. I like repeating things, and then for a little splash of color, there's nothing like just a few Phalaenopsis orchids. This is the butterfly orchid, and they'll last for a long time. Now behind me, on the right and left of the sofa, are olive trees, and they're really quite beautiful. I've grown them from just little tiny things, so they're like pets. They were sent to me, and they're from the Mount of Olives, and so they're very special. And I love having that glaucous gray color of the leaf here at this end of the porch. Now, if you've ever been to Moss Mountain Farm, you know that there are 3 porches, and we have a porch below us and we have a porch above us. The one below us we have set up for just relaxing, and love to show you some of the plants there. And after that, we'll go all the way up and have a look at the sleeping porch. So come on, let's go downstairs. So this is the basement level, or what I like to call the garden level here at Moss Mountain Farm. And it's a very comfortable place to sit. It's very cool here because of the stone walls. But on either side, I have a pair of Eugenias. Eugenias clip very nicely, and these look like they need a good clipping. And I should have brought my clippers, but it's just a matter of snipping the ends of this plant and shaping them into what one of my nephews calls a poodle. And it makes it really kind of fun to have these formal elements by the front door. But there's some other great houseplants here that really will take low light. For instance, I've got these ferns across the back. These are just Kimberly ferns. And then this is a sago palm that I've had for years. I've grown it from just a little pup, and it's really quite beautiful and luxurious. And then below it is a bird's nest fern, which is really, really easy to grow. And what I like about bird's nest ferns, as opposed to these Kimberly ferns, the Kimberly ferns, because of the structure of the leaf, those little leaflets tend to fall off. Whereas with this bird's nest fern, the leaves are solid, long strap-like leaves, and so there's less litter, if you will. Down here I also have lined the steps, just a few things that may interest you. Some ivy growing in pots, just simple ivy on a wire frame, and then different kinds of springaria or asparagus fern. This is a type of asparagus fern, and what I like about it is that it has such a soft, luxurious texture to it. Now, for some mass and weight to anchor things, I have this palmetto palm here, which is it does very well in this level of light, and it does add a bit of scale to this wonderfully cool, relaxed part of the house. So this is the base level, or the garden level. We just saw the middle level. So now let's trek upstairs and have a look at the sleeping porch. Well, I guess it's apparent and easy to understand why we call this a sleeping porch with these 3 beds out here. It's one of my favorite rooms here at Moss Mountain Farm. And I told you I have an expanded idea about what is a houseplant. So here you can see right at the edge of the porch these mandevillas, which are really blooming quite beautifully. And they've been here for a couple of months now. In fact, they're sort of making themselves very comfortable and wrapping their tendrils around the chairs, which is very nice. There's some old favorites here for those who know sansevieria or snake plant. I grew up with my great-grandparents and grandparents referring to this as mother-in-law's tongue. And then there's a wide range of little agaves up here that I think are just fantastic. And I've placed those in these faux bois containers. I like the rustic quality of them. And then if you look toward the back, I've even used, here's another type of agave here, yet another one. There's so many different types. You can see the similarities of this one that we saw just below us, the Agave Americano, the variegated one. And then behind it is just a wonderful bedding plant begonia. I had a few of those left over and potted them up and have them out here because I think the soft pink works very well. And then in the corner, there's our old friend, the sago palm, to add some weight up here on the sleeping porch. It's a very comfortable room. Clearly there are certain times of the year it's more comfortable than others, but when the temperatures are in the 60s to sleep out here, it's really quite magical. I hope this has inspired you to think about houseplants in maybe a different way and get creative with them. I can't imagine life without houseplants. So many of the ones I have here are just pets. All right, so go out there and adopt a few houseplants quickly. You are so beautiful. I'd like to thank First Community Bank for making this video possible and their support of our pollinator community. You can learn more about our Bloom With Us program by going to firstcommunity.net.